All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you and just like me. I don't really have a lane, so sometimes I talk about music. In fact, check out this band here. Holy crap, Batman. Evolution Eden. Had these guys on the show, I don't know, a couple years back, and this is their album Sonic Cinema. And at the time, I was talking about it because it actually had guitar riffs, great intros, great vocals. Kind of reminded me a little bit of Van Halen. Not entirely. It's definitely got its own thing. But in a perfect world, you'd have this band opening up for Van Halen, right? If you wanted to give some other guys a chance to succeed, which that's not a thing anymore in the music business. But Evolution Eden, good group of guys. We had a good time off air just talking about stuff, and that's always a good thing, right? So Michael Anthony is out there spilling the beans some more. Um, Here's the headline: Why the Van Halen tribute concert failed to materialize. We're still talking about this. Again, it's a slow news day in the world of rock, geezer rock, classic rock. Um, but it's funny because Anthony uses a term that's kind of interesting. He says here, one of the ingredients was not playing ball with everybody else. So I'm assuming it's David Lee Roth. And what ingredient would David Lee Roth be? If you're gonna take him like off the spice rack, what would he be? Would he be ground pepper? Would he be curry powder? I'm thinking he'd be curry, maybe. Um, Paprika. He might be paprika, or but he's an ingredient. That's the point. So I'm trying to, you got to have a little bit of fun with this because there's not really much going on. So it's interesting, though, that again, Michael Anthony is talking about how one of the ingredients, because the question keeps coming up, talking about Jason Newsted again, who for some reason was called because they didn't want Michael Anthony, so they were calling Jason Newsted to play bass. Remember that when he spilled the beans to the Palm Beach Post? He wasn't supposed to say anything. This was under wraps, and I think at that point the whole thing just went down the drain. Um, Alex Van Halen, I don't think he wants to play ball either, but he gets a pass, whereas Dave doesn't get a pass because apparently he doesn't play well with others. This, according to both Sammy Hagar and Michael Anthony. So again, nothing really new here. They talk again about the time where they almost got this thing off the ground with Joe Satriani and possibly Jason Newsted, and they were talking with Dave, and they were talking probably with Sammy and with Alex, and it didn't go anywhere. He says again, I'm not going to point fingers, but through all of this, one of the ingredients was not, let's say, playing ball with everybody else. And that's all I'm going to say. I'll let you all figure it out. And that's why none of it worked. And you've read it probably with Wolfgang, his comments, doing interviews last year. He basically said that, again, there was one person holding this up. Now, Wolfgang finally got around to being a little nicer when it comes to Sammy, because Sammy always wanted to do this. He said something like, yeah, Sammy said he wanted to do it, and then he said he didn't want to do it, but Sammy wants to do it. In fact, he's doing the whole Van Halen thing this summer. And so that's what I think people need to focus on. It's the Best of All Worlds Summer 2024 tour with Sammy Hagar, Joe Satriani, and Jason Bonham. I should call ahead and see if I can get tickets for that. He says, I love going out and playing Van Halen music. Again, this is Michael Anthony speaking. People who know me, they know I'm the first guy when we're on tour, whatever, on a night off, I'll go out and I'll have a couple of drinks and I'll go, hey, let's go jam somewhere. And I'm up there playing Van Halen music with pretty much any band. Yeah, he did that with a weird band. I think it was last week. a band that really didn't fit the whole, hey, let's go out and play band. Like it was like a band from the 90s that played grunge or alternative rock. But you know what? If Michael Anthony shows up, you might want to change the playlist, or the set list. You might want to just change it up a little bit. So he concludes here. They want to hear the music. And Sammy and I said, hey, let's go take it to the fans. Let's go out there and do it because let's face it, we're not getting any younger. And what? You got to wait for somebody else to unfortunately pass away or whatever. And then all of a sudden we'll be like, oh God, we should have done this. We should have done that. I've been saying this, I say this all the time. These bands, they just wait too long. And then when they get out there, it's like they can't sing or they're just, I don't know, a very weak version of their former selves out there. I don't think, Sammy has gotten to that stage. And I don't think Michael Anthony, obviously. I think Michael Anthony should sing more, though, I would say. Put him out there, have him sing a good portion of those old Van Halen songs. Maybe give Sammy a rest a little bit on vocals. I mean, he's still pretty good, but again, not throwing the fastball now, kind of a slider or some off-speed stuff, but he's still okay out there. I'd rather listen to Sammy than a whole bunch of other people that are still pretending that they can still do this. But anyway, he goes on to talk about Alex. It would be great to get Alex out there with us. He's obviously welcome anytime he wants to join us. But with Eddie gone, I've spoken with Alex just a handful of times. And we speak more about family than anything else when we talk. But I can put a band together and go out and play Van Halen music. But wouldn't it be nice to have the other guys that are still around? This is weird to me. I would think David Lee Roth. Now, again, he's supposedly semi-retired. Dave, at one point, said that his doctor told him that he probably shouldn't be out there. And he's making these videos, and he made a couple of funny videos about Wolfgang Van Halen. But for the most part, he's just throwing stones over the fence at this point, and he still gets lots of attention. He's releasing music that he recorded with John 5 like 10 years ago, and he might be recording new stuff. He's trying to put his versions up there. So when you search on Spotify, you might stumble upon one of them. And unfortunately, you might end up playing one of those instead of the originals, which are light years better than the Roth versions. But yeah, Roth is the guy who doesn't play nice. He is the missing ingredient. He is the curry. He is the paprika, the pepper sauce, whatever it is. You got to hand it to Dave, though. He is a colorful character, and he does provide some content for people like me who don't have much to talk about, I mean, nobody cares that, that whole safe and effective product thing that has been exposed for what it is. 3-4 years later, everybody said, yeah, shut up, you're just, you're wrong. And I'm like, no, I'm not wrong. And now the New York Times is talking about it. You can watch my last video. It's being shadow banned for sure. I talked to people on a couple of other social media places or sites, whatever, who follow the channel, and they said, no, we didn't get that notification. We didn't get a notification on that video. So again, check your notifications, because there's certain content. I mean, this one will go right through, probably get like 100,000 views, right? Probably not. But the point is, this will get more views than it's supposed to, talking about Michael Anthony and David Lee Roth being the missing ingredient, or the ingredient that doesn't play nice. I mean, that's a topic I've done 22 times already, but yet it'll get like 10,000 views or something. Whereas the video about how, people are keeling over and stuff and nobody seems to care, who cares, right? That's not important. All right. I've done enough soapboxing for today. Check out this band. They're really cool. Evolution Eden. And I put this forth because it's a little like Van Halen. Their album is called Sonic Cinema, although they kind of have, again, the only reason I'm putting it in the Van Halen category is because there are guitar riffs on this. It's not just all monotone or monolithic. These guys are trying to be like a melodic rock band, and a little bit muscular in places, a little pop in places, but really good pretty much throughout the entire album. Evolution Eden. My name is Dave. Thanks for tuning in and putting up with this. God bless everyone. Please pray for peace in the Middle East. Pray for peace on college campuses all over this country. And just pray for your own peace and peace of mind as we are in the crazy world of 2024 and elections, or maybe no elections. Who knows? Maybe there won't be an election in 2024. That would provide me with some really good content. Yeah. So I'll be covering that. Maybe they'll just decide they're going to cancel the election for whatever reason. I mean, they should. We won't have to stress out about this anymore. Just, you don't need a president. Everybody has their own president wherever they live. That would be their state governor. And I think the world would be a much better place if that were the case. And you could just move, right? You can move to a state that you like rather than putting up with the federal government telling you what to do with your life. All right. I've covered a lot of ground here. This was supposed to be about Michael Anthony and David Lee Roth being that ingredient that messes everything up. See you soon.